Hey everybody, Lance, Global Banker, Town & Country, 2020 Real Estate Market Forecast. We just wrapped up shooting Christopher Thornberg. Full-length video. I think he did about 90 minutes. I'm pretty shocked. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to have the whole thing, out of post-production here pretty quick. We're hoping to get it posted on the Facebook page and other places in the next 24 to 48 hours. But I'm sitting here with Chris right now. You got to be exhausted. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you go quite that long. I've seen you.
Oh, it's not that hard for me.
Well, true, but I think it was at least 90 minutes.
It was. Lots to talk about.
We're going to get it all up here pretty quick, but why don't you give us the 3 or 4 minute version of what everybody's concerned about right now with the hysteria?
Absolutely. And look, there's a couple things going on out here, right? There's some of these long-term issues, some of the things we've talked about over the last couple of years, but then, of course, right now we have this virus situation. We see a wholesale shutdown of a portion of the U.S. economy. Obviously schools are closed and restaurants are closed and bars are closing. I get it. But take a step back and you look at what's going on out there. Understand everything happening in the U.S. right now are things that are occurring to prevent the virus from becoming a true pandemic in the U.S. and creating some sort of major supply shock. I'm amazed by the degree of hysteria that is in the press right now over this situation. It's at a shrieking cacophony that I can't even really get my head around. But to be clear, I want everybody to remember, a year ago we were in this place too. In fact, it was a few weeks before we did this last year, when the market was down 20%, and real estate meltdowns were about to hit, and interest rates are going up, and inflation was going to take over.
We forget, because the year ended up so nicely, how scared we were into the first quarter.
Exactly.
It was fourth quarter 18 was awful. January, February, March wasn't great of 2019.
But then what happened? Second half of the year, on fire. Markets at all-time high levels. Real estate market came screaming back. Home prices started accelerating again. Everything looks good. And then the virus came. Now, I'm not trying to minimize this. I will tell you firsthand, this is probably the biggest threat to our current economic expansion that we have seen in 10 years. That's not insignificant for us to say, because for the most part, I tend to poo-poo all these negative scare stories. But then go to the next step. Is a recession fait accompli? Absolutely not. In fact, you may have a situation where we don't even see a negative quarter for growth. Maybe flat in the second quarter, but not necessarily even negative. What I do know is that the things we're doing right now, get in front of this and prevent this from becoming widespread. This is a 2-month blip, and it's going to be nothing more than the source of good stories to talk about in a few years. What did you do during the big virus lockdown?
Right.
And with that in mind, the second half of the year is going to be great. I mean, a lot of the talk is actually about the fundamentals. And it's about the need for more housing, about the need for fiscal rebuilding. It's about the fundamentals. Fundamentals still matter. Don't get sidetracked by this craziness.
Well, we just literally finished shooting Chris's speech. I'd say we can clean that up. But at any rate, I was shocked, quite honestly. You went for a good, what felt like 30 to 45 minutes kind of talking about the virus, mixing in all the rest of that sort of stuff, and kind of where we are, and generally positive. So I think you might be a little surprised on some of Chris's take. Serious stuff, right? Yeah. But not the end of the world.
Right.
So again, I think the whole thing's about 90 minutes. The last 45 minutes or so is probably a little bit more Inland Empire economic stuff. So for those of you that aren't so interested in that, well, watch the first 45 minutes, and if you can, make it through that. Looks like we might be home with a little bit of time on our hands. So
it might be.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be a YouTube sensation here over the next couple weeks.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, I really want to thank Chris Thornberg. We do have more interviews coming up within the next week or two, but anyway, this is the one everybody wanted to see anyway. So you're first up. You're our keynote. I shake your hand, but we're not doing that today. So
elbow bump.
Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll be in touch. Talk to you soon. Be safe.